Okay, so I guess we're back for another podcast. I guess it's been a couple weeks. How you doing?
Doing good. Yeah, just got a new PC, so I'm happy.
Did you get that for Christmas?
Yeah, but half of it was out of my pocket.
That's good. 2021. It's a new year. Hopefully better than 2020.
Yep. I mean, that's gonna be a pretty low bar.
Yeah, I think someone said that like if you like 2021 is like 2021, like the year one. So that was kind of funny. The year did win. I mean, we got like tons of terrible stuff.
Jesus, but it came with a lot of memes.
Oh yeah, and there's some great memes this from 2020. I hope that we get some good memes from 2021. So let's get into the discussion. Um, some things have happened with Logan Paul and Jake Paul. Jake called Logan a fake fighter, and Logan responded on his podcast. Did you see that?
Yeah, and I've also seen Logan's response saying how Jake apparently loses to his sparring partners. Uh,
Yeah, that was very. I was like, oh, I can't believe Logan went there.
yeah. Do you agree with Jake calling him a fake fighter?
No, he's like, this is why I don't like Jake when he says stuff like that, because he's like, oh, I'm the real fighter, my brother's the fake fighter, and I'm like, you want to fight Conor McGregor this year? It's like you're not a like legitimate fighter yet, Jake. Like you haven't fought an actual boxer. You know what I mean? It's like I just think that him saying that Logan's a fake fighter just seems a bit hypocritical to me.
I see what you mean. Personally, I don't like the term fake fighter. I think Logan is a showman. He's a prize fighter. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, they both are.
okay, no, this is the part where I'm kind of confused with Jake because I agree with what you said. It's hypocritical because what makes Jake any different from Logan besides obviously winning the fight? What makes him different? What makes his boxing matches more real than Logan's?
Yeah, they've had the same amount of experience.
Yeah, but at the same time, I do find it weird how Logan, on his second fight, mind you, is already having an exhibition match. So that does feel like, you know, showboating. Well, not showboating, but like you're kind of just putting on a show if your second fight is an exhibition match. With Jake, at least he's not. What's the word? He's fighting, but it's like not an exhibition. Like he's still building up his resume. Yes, he has not fought real boxers yet, but that's only because he's still an amateur. Because most amateurs fight other amateurs. They don't go straight to the big leagues. Because Jake has clout, he didn't have that opportunity. So I don't understand why people are getting mad he's fighting weaker opponents. That's kind of what you usually do when you're actually boxing.
Well, yeah, well, my I think the reason why people say that, like, oh, Jake, is fighting weaker opponents, and they kind of criticize him for that,
Yeah.
is because Jake and his coach BJ Flores are like, oh, Jake, beats up and KOs professional boxers in sparring, and Jake is like kind of has the attitude and says like I'm on like on another level. I'm like the best of the best. And I have the ability to fight Connor. And people were like, well, you fought two YouTubers, one who just fought and one who has fought longer than you but never improved in his skills, and a like retired NBA player that had no abilities at all. So that's why the people criticize him for that.
I 100% agree. Like, I'm not mad at Jake fighting YouTubers and wants to take a step up, but you don't just take two steps up a stair and do the big leap and go straight to Connor. Like,
Like if he fought like KSI, Vidal, Logan, Dylan, and he beat all of them the way he beat Nate, let's say,
yeah,
and then he said, "Oh, I think I can beat Connor." I wouldn't hate him for it because I'm like, you've proven that you've gone up the best of the best, and you know what I mean. So he's talking this talk way too early in his boxing career.
however, there is one thing I will give credit to Connor. I love his self discipline of not responding to this man. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. Oh my god, let's just clear things up right now. Connor is not scared. If you think he is scared of Jake, whoever is watching this, you need to fix your head because he's not scared. He's obviously just
Yeah,
not. He's not giving Jake attention.
yeah, no,
But remember how? Okay, Jake is not planning to fight Connor next. He is planning to fight Connor without a doubt. Will it happen? I'm not sure. But he's not planning to fight him next. He's planning to fight him, I think he said, in 3 to 4 years, which is still not enough, but at least he knows that he's not there yet or will ever be.
yeah,
And I don't know, man. I just think the Paul brothers are over their heads. One's fighting Connor, the other one's fighting Floyd Mayweather. KSI might
yeah,
end up fighting Manny Pacquiao. Who knows? But
yeah, no. I don't. I just don't think that YouTubers should be fighting pro boxers. Like, well, with the reason why people like don't, I don't hate on Logan for fighting Floyd, is because like obviously he's like all I need is one lucky shot, and like I want to beat him. But like there's this incredible like self awareness about like the fight and how small his chances are, and Logan's being very humble about it, while still kind of like believing in himself. Whereas Jake like takes himself super seriously and is like, I'm going to beat Connor. Um, so I think that's kind of like a big difference between them, and why I like Logan better.
well, yeah, that's only because there's only so much a 0-1 boxer can brag about. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, you really can't brag to Floyd Mayweather. Like, what are you gonna brag about? You got money? Guess what? Floyd has that. Oh, you box? Well, Floyd's the greatest at it. Oh, you have a
Yeah.
podcast? That's not gonna win a boxing match. He doesn't really have a lot of material to use against Floyd. Where Floyd, on the other hand, he has a buttload of things to brag about. Which
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure when it wait, has there even been a press conference announced yet?
No, there definitely will be. But the fight's not for like another like
14
2 months.
days.
So.
No, it's 14 days.
No, it's on February 28th. I
What?
think. Yeah.
No, it was on January 20th. I'm confused. Did they move the date?
No, it's always been February.
Dude,
Yeah,
there's no way I'm insane.
Go to Logan's Instagram.
When?
It's it's
Okay.
February 20th, 2021.
Dude, I'm hella dumb.
Yeah,
So,
no. So
okay.
they'll definitely have at least one press conference.
Who do you think would win the press conference? Logan or Floyd?
I feel like Logan would kind of just do like his usual thing. I think people would just like say, "Oh, Floyd just won," but I feel like Logan could make some funny jokes or do some good antics. But um, yeah,
Dude, okay. So, obviously, people are assuming Logan's gonna lose.
yeah.
Let's say Logan lost. I mean, he is going
Oh,
to lose, but let's say it's official. He lost. Would you say his
yeah.
boxing career is over as an 0-2 boxer, or do you think there would be another fight for Logan?
Ah, nah, he'll fight again. Like he's more into this to make attention. Like he wants to fight Chris Hemsworth next. Did you see that?
Oh my god, that is so dumb. I feel
I
bad
don't
for
know.
Chris Hemsworth, to be honest. I feel like he was just trying to like exercise.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I feel like he's just trying to use boxing as an exercise because it is a good exercise. He's not
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to get punched in the face.
No, no. But listen, like if Logan fought Chris Hemsworth, one, that fight would be huge, and I would love to watch that. Second of all, Logan would obviously win that fight probably because I don't think Chris Hemsworth has been boxing consistently and has had fights. And then if Logan beats Chris Hemsworth, then he can like, I feel like Logan's boxing career might come down to fighting celebrities instead of like actually trying to become like a boxer. He's like doing this for entertainment. So I don't think Logan cares if he, loses a lot because at the end of the day, it's all about attention and eventually he will win a fight at some point and then everything might change after that.
Agreed. Speaking of attention, let's talk about something that caught the internet by storm. Have you seen the? Of course, you've seen the Ryan Garcia fight, right?
Yep.
Holy, what were your thoughts on it?
So well, I actually tried to illegally watch it, but I couldn't find any sites, so I had to watch this guy do a commentary. But then I watched some of the fight when it was on YouTube afterwards.
Yeah.
But I thought that that knockout that well, he didn't knock him out, but he like did a body shot. But that body shot was wow. It was I would not want to get hit with that.
Yeah. it was a spectacular. I'm gonna call it a knockout because I guess in the resume it's gonna go under as a knockout. It was a beautiful shot. It was set up
Yeah, but
nicely, and he Luke Campbell has fought the best of the best. He's fought Jorge Linares. He's fought Lomachenko. I'm pretty sure he's planning to fight the next rising stars such as David Haney if he's allowed to do that. But Lomachenko and Jorge Linares are beasts of the division, and the fact that Ryan Garcia was the one who was able to get him out was just fascinating to me.
yeah, I was people I guess were questioning whether Ryan Garcia could take a hit, and like he got knocked down pretty hard in the second round, I think. And I was like, and he was like his hands went down and everything, and he managed to like compose himself and win the fight. So I was impressed that he was able to take that big shot and come back. And he said that like that was the hardest shot he'd ever been hit with. So he clearly has what it takes.
Um, I believe Ryan Garcia has a future in boxing. No one can deny that. The kid's a
Yeah,
superstar.
yeah.
However, unlike the rest of the internet, I cannot say I'm 100% impressed. Merely because he said Luke Campbell hit him the hardest he's ever been hit. But if you look at his past competition, that's not exactly a high bar. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And Jesus Christ, the kid has speed and power, but I wasn't a fan of his defense. Like, he ate so many avoidable shots.
People, I think someone said when I was watching the guy who was like streaming the fight, he said that he didn't like his footwork. And he felt like he wasn't like ready for like the big leagues.
Even the commentators said it. They were like, he felt because he was flat footed.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is, and no disrespect to Bill Campbell, he's an amazing boxer. But he's known for having light hands. He's fast, he's called cool hands, but he's not known as a knockout artist. But the fact that Ryan Garcia ate those light punches, I don't know if it's because he felt like they were threatening or he just doesn't know how. But all I know is if you put someone like Javante Davis in there, and if he continues to just keep on eating punches, he's eventually going to go down.
Yeah.
But who knows, man? Maybe Ryan. I mean, he trains with Canelo after all. The dude has the best head movement I've ever seen, so maybe he'll pick some of that up.
I remember when Jake Paul wanted to fight Ryan Garcia, and like I was like, listen, I know Jake's heavier than Ryan, but I'm like Ryan Garcia would KO Jake in like 1 minute. Like I would love to see that because it would be over so quickly. Oh, that'd be amazing.
I feel like the entire internet would throw roses at Ryan Garcia's foot just for knocking out Jake Paul.
I feel like Ryan could send Jake to the hospital, like out on a stretcher and everything. I think that if they ever fought, it would be very quick. But that prospect was funny to me.
Oh my god, bro! If Ryan ever becomes like a unified world champion, people wouldn't even remember him for that. He will be remembered as the guy who knocked out Jake Paul. Like, that would be his greatest
Yeah,
accomplishment, which is
but
unfortunate.
yeah, no, but the people will love him for that. The internet will they will hail him as the king.
No, the internet will, but the thing with Ryan Garcia is that he is what you call a social media boxer. He loves branding himself, right?
Yeah,
So I'm not sure if the fight for Jake Paul is what Ryan Garcia would want because it wouldn't exactly gain him respect in the boxing community. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And besides, everybody knows Jake Paul would be ducking Ryan Garcia. He's talking a lot of game, but I feel like he would duck Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, no, that fight would not end well for him. And I know we talk about Ryan Garcia, but I was saying like, oh, Jake should fight Vidal. I think that should be Jake's next fight in March. I think he wants to fight Ben Askren or whatever, but Vidal is like I mean he's obviously boxed a lot longer and has a lot more experience, but like imagine if Vidal fought Jake and Jake won that fight. Like that would give Jake so much credibility. I don't think he would be able to do that, but if he really wanted to prove everybody wrong and say I am a boxer and I will take on a challenge, he should fight Vidal because he's saying that he's beating pro boxers and sparring and knocking them out. So if you're gonna talk the talk, walk the walk.
I truly believe if Jake Paul, I'm not saying he is, but if he managed to beat Vidal. I feel like that's more credible than beating Conor McGregor. Because one, you're beating a guy with an amazing amateur record. I'm talking about one has
Yeah.
national championships, right? You are beating a guy who
Mhm.
is your size, and you are also
Yeah.
beating the trainer that the internet looks up to. You are like, I feel like that is more credible because I guarantee
Yeah.
you, let's say Jake somehow in God's name beats Conor McGregor. People will rob him of that accomplishment, saying, "Well, he's not a boxer. He's smaller. He's getting older." Right?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you beat Vidal, there's nothing you can say. He's his size. He has the greatest amateur
Mhm.
record there's been in quite a while. Like I feel like Vidal would be more credible than beating Conor McGregor.
Yeah, like Jake is doing like Jake. I feel like knows that like he doesn't. He I think Jake knows that he can't beat the best of the best, and he doesn't want to lose that like perception of him that people have of like first round and second round knockout Jake Paul, and he easily just does in his opponents. But I'm like Jake, like he complains so much about how people hate on him and people constantly like see him as the underdog, and I'm like, well, you're talking a big talk. There's a perfect opponent out for you. Like take the fight. Like it's just that's how I know he's not like being true about it, and that's how I know that his coach BJ Flores is like, he always hypes up Jake, but I'm like, I know that he's more of a yes man than I feel like a real trainer like Vidal. Like someone asked him in an Instagram live, like, "Oh, would Jake fight Vidal?" and he like ignored the comment. So yeah,
Honestly, with BJ Flores, I actually knew him before I knew Jake. Like I said, I'm a fan of boxing, right? He was no world champion, even though he was a contender. He tried fighting for the belt.
yeah,
Is he a yes man? I I honestly believe he is. However,
yeah.
however, I do not believe that he brainwashes Jake. He will agree to whatever he says, but I highly doubt. Unlike the other yes man Jake had, he won't feed him ideas.
Are you talking about Azadi?
Yeah, him, dude. That oh my god, that kid's insane. Well, he's not even a kid. Apparently, he's some criminal. But I have respect for BJ Flores because he's just doing his job as a trainer. Yes, he's being a yes man, but at the end of the day, it's his job to always be there on his fighter's corner as a trainer.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing about BJ is like I think he is a yes man, and actually BJ said that Azadi is the one that hired him to be Jake's like assistant coach when he fought Gibb, which was interesting. But I feel like BJ Flores understands boxing and he does have an IQ. So while he may be a yes man, and I think Jake would do better if he was training with Shane Mosley. BJ Flores isn't is it's not like he's not teaching Jake anything. You know what I mean? Like he knows what he's doing in a way.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, yeah, okay, okay. So if Armani was the one who hired BJ Flores, well, I guess you can say a broken clock is right twice a day. I believe that was a good move. However, I'm pretty sure it was Shane Mosley who got him because BJ Flores, because when I study a topic, I like to study it thoroughly, right? BJ Flores
Yeah.
started out as a sparring partner for Jake, I've heard, and apparently BJ Flores was too big for Jake, and Shane Mosley kept him as a. Well, it wasn't Shane Mosley's idea. I think it was Armani's idea. He was like, "Hey, maybe you could just stay as an assistant coach," and Shane liked what he heard, and he liked what he saw. So that's BJ Flores.
Yeah.
All right,
Um.
continue.
What were you say?
Hmm? Oh no, I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just waiting for you.
Oh. I had this like I was thinking I was trying to go to sleep last night, and I had this like thought like imagine like this reality. Logan Paul KOs Floyd Mayweather. And then after that, him and Jake fight, and then Jake loses, and then Logan goes on and beats like celebrities, and he becomes the king of YouTube boxing. And then I'm like, in this reality, the KSI fight probably wouldn't happen. But I was just thinking, like, imagine that reality where Logan beats Floyd. That would change everything. You know
I
what I
feel
mean?
like that
I
would
feel like
break the order of boxing. Like everything would get out of balance.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, I don't think Logan should fight, Tyson Fury. Like that should never happen. But I think that it would change the storyline because I feel like Logan and Jake, the rivalry is kind of stirring up, and I feel like if Logan beats Floyd, like Jake's gonna be like well, what can I do next but beat Connor? And if Jake goes and fights Connor in 2021, he's gonna lose. So I would love to see that happen, even though it won't. Like that would be I would love to see how that reality would play out.
I feel like, all right, if Logan manages to somehow be fit, right, and he goes on to other branches, beats those fights, I feel like KSI ego would grow even more. He would be like, "Hey, believe it or not, I'm the guy that defeated all of you." Right? Same thing on the Reddit. They're saying how they're rooting for Logan, not in Logan's best interest, but because that would technically mean KSI is the best boxer supposedly, and that's just hilarious. I think Logan beating everybody wouldn't even be a bad thing. I think that'd be funny.
I would love if Logan was the face of YouTube boxing because he's respectful to the sport, and it was Jake is making fun of Dana White, and I don't like that Jake is like the face of YouTube boxing right now and is like the current king of the YouTube scene.
I think it's fitting actually. I mean, most faces of combat is usually mean people. Conor McGregor was face of UFC. He was known as a jackass. Mike Tyson was the face of boxing. Lord knows he had his running with the laws. I feel like when you think of combat, you don't think of nice, happy guy. You know what I mean? You think of
Yeah, well, I'm not.
what? Sorry, continue.
You can continue talking.
I feel like, and it's mainly because I believe Jake is trying to copy Conor unbelievably hard. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I believe Jake falls in the category of face of worthless, like the face of YouTube boxing. Everybody has that mean face. Uh, Apparently Dylan Dennis is like the villain of Bellator, but he's even though he's not the face of it. Like I feel like every face has their own hero and villain, and right now Jake is the villain of YouTube boxing, but it's still a face nonetheless.
yeah, yeah. I wish it was Logan because I feel like Logan is just more he's more likable and like he still can be like immature and like
Yeah,
I guess kind of a villain, but like you can't help but you there's like this likable quality to him and um he's just I think just more humble than Jake and I just feel like his ego isn't out of control like Jake's is right
yeah,
now.
he's a goofball. Everybody likes a goofball. It's just he has the perfect personality to be the face of boxing. He just needs the skill to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he just needs that killer instinct. But I feel like even if he does like beat Floyd or if he loses, like he'll definitely box again. And I feel like whoever he boxes after Floyd, he will win. Because I want to see Logan win. I want to see him like KO someone like Jake KO Nate. You know what I mean? Like I support him now.
Yeah. It's let's not forget, of course, about KSI. KSI is he's considered to be the face. Well, actually, he's considered to be the champion of YouTube boxing. But if you want to
Yeah.
be the actual face, you need to stay active. And unfortunately, KSI is not being active at the moment. I wish he was at the moment.
Yeah, I want him to be active. I want him to fight people that aren't just the Pauls. But I think everyone's like, "Oh, KSI's scared of Jake and he doesn't want to do this." But I think that KSI always says how he doesn't like to be put in boxes, and he wants to move on and do different things, and not stay in one thing for a long period of time. After the Logan fight, he said, I'm on to the next thing. And I think he wanted to just focus on music and he was ready to move on from the whole boxing thing. Not because he didn't like it, just because he wanted to try the next thing. And so I feel like that's kind of why he's not really in. I he wants to beat Jake, but I think that's why he's not active, boxing wise, because he's focusing on his music and that's what he wants to do. So, but yeah, I think that's kind of why he's not fighting a lot this year.
Yeah, and that's respectable. I like his music. I feel like he should follow his passion, no matter what it is. I just wish people can understand that. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
they're, but at the same time, I understand them because KSI love the guy, but he did when you do boxing, like the boxing bug, you're gonna want people to crave more. So I respect KSI for chasing his passion, but he did bait the people. Well, not bait. He gave a sample of YouTube boxing, and people are craving more. Like,
yeah, yeah. They want more of him,
yeah,
so
and
I understand that.
see with
Can I
Jake,
say something?
yeah, with Jake, it's different because I think people don't. People just want to watch this fight to see him lose.
Yeah,
KSI is
and
an
once
actual hero. Like we're rooting for this man. We want him to do something, but unfortunately, it's not. It's a one-way relationship.
yeah, like, and if KSI lost, people would be like, "Oh, it's okay. Like, we want you to fight again." Like, I feel like Jake also doesn't want to take big fights because, like, or like fights that will challenge him because I think he knows that people aren't watching you because they want to see you win. They want to see you lose, and once you lose, there's not going to be much of an audience for you after.
Agreed. Yeah, it's beyond crazy.